Hi, I'm Leng. I'm one of the founders of Friends of Seven. We started off when we only had 7 rescue dogs. The first dog that we rescued, she was being poisoned. So we actually rushed her and 2 other siblings to the vet. We sort of know this family of dogs when we were doing some stray feedings. As we go along, we decided to board them at the boarding kennel while they recover. And that was the time we started our little group with the aim of finding them a home. We kept the name Friends of Seven. I think 7 also means lucky. As we go along, we got more and more dogs, and the cost of sustaining the dogs are actually becoming very high. 2 years ago, we were actually offered this place. Another founder, PY and I, felt that it makes more sense for us to rent our own place, in which we also find that the dogs get better care, and it's also easier for the potential adopters to come here and visit. We will interview the potential adopters over the phone. We ask them all the basic questions like what kind of housing they stay in and how many family members are staying in the same household. And once we find that they are suitable, we will ask them to come down to the shelter to meet up with the dog. The first thing that we come in here, we will actually walk the dogs. 80% of our dogs are actually grass trained, so they will probably need their daily walk. I think there are still a handful of people who actually have the wrong impression of stray dogs, mainly because they are big in size and the way they look, so they sort of find them more intimidating as compared to a normal pedigree dog. But I think the strays living in Singapore, they are actually harmless and they are fearful. So it's actually a misconception.
This is Christmas. Now he's about 7 years old. We met Christmas in one of the cemetery when he's about maybe 2 years old. He was in a very bad shape at that time. He lost a lot of weight because he has a dermatitis. It's a kind of skin disease that actually makes him feel very itchy, and he starts to scratch and chew up himself. We sent him for a vet check with medications. He's actually healed a couple of months later. It's actually quite nice, so we decided to keep him and hope to find home for him. But so far, we haven't had a chance to find him a home. He is a matured dog. A lot of people will actually look for younger dogs, but actually he is a very good home pet. He likes humans, but he may be a bit shy in the beginning, so he shows a bit of like a reactive movement, but actually he can be warmed up just a few minutes after meetup.
After the walks, we will proceed with feeding them. We also have to do some maintenance work, such as scrubbing the drain, keeping the place clean. And sometimes when we have volunteers who come over, they will also help us with some of the maintenance work as well as the feeding and cleaning. And by the time when it's late afternoon, we will start with walking the dog for the second time. COVID-19 has affected us a lot. It's actually not just the adoption part. For adoption, it has affected us mainly because of the circuit breaker. Because during those periods, we were actually not allowed to host anyone, and we were not very comfortable in meeting the person virtually. What COVID-19 has really impacted us on is actually our income, because we need income to sustain this place. We were actually doing boarding for people. That means they leave their dogs here when they travel. But what happened is because of the COVID-19, people are no longer traveling, so we actually lost a main bulk of our income. Hector is already going to be 6 plus to 7 already. He was also rescued as a puppy. We found him abandoned together with his mother dog at one of the very secluded parts in Singapore. His ear was very, very badly injured, so we decided to take him to the vet, and he was also tested positive for distemper. And that's why the vet actually had to isolate him at the time. But over the period of isolation, Hector actually lost the mobility of one of the legs because the neural system actually makes one of his legs to keep twitching. We managed to get some sponsorship to help him with doing some hydrotherapy and acupuncture. Eventually, he got better and better. So now he's actually able to hop on his own. And in fact, he's also able to do his own business without any assistance. If someone is interested to help us out, one way of definitely is actually to come over here to join us as a volunteer. And they can actually come here to help us to walk the dogs, do some maintenance work. And I think they can also help us simply by sharing the word around.